It's Monday the 27th of July 2026 and it's Magic Monday live with me, Michael Heppel, talking about priorities. Loud music today. Let's turn that down a little bit. Let's click some buttons over here and then we will begin. All right.
It's the start of the week. Grab your coffee cups. It's Magic Monday Live.
Magic Monday Live, and it is great to be here. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I have a reason. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. I was in Dallas. I'll tell you more about that next week if I get a chance to. But I've started to think a lot about priorities and about urgent versus important. So when I was away last week, I did two talks. And the second one, the client particularly asked about helping their teams to prioritize. And how do you prioritize? Because there's just so much stuff going on. So much stuff in the world and in our worlds at the moment. How do you create your priorities? So I shared a technique which I wrote about many years ago now in my book, How to Save an Hour Every Day, still available in all good bookshops. And the brilliant thing about that book, How to Save an Hour Every Day, is I wrote it for me because my time management was, let's say, could have been better. I was going to say appalling, but could have been better. So I decided that I would write a time management book for me. And it did very well. It's my most translated books. It's in multiple languages. If you see on this side, that's on that side here, almost all of those along there are How to Save an Hour Every Day in different languages. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what happened with this client last week. And what I needed to do was I needed to help them to prioritize. So I taught them a technique which I wrote about in the book, and it's called the $100,000 idea. Apologies if you've heard it before, but it's worthwhile hearing again. So basically, at the turn of the last century, the richest man in the world was somebody called Charles M. Schwab. And he was a very busy guy, as you can imagine. A lot of his time was spent becoming the richest man in the world and maintaining his wealth as the richest man in the world. And then one day a young chap came up to him and said, Mr. Schwab, I've got this idea for you. I think it'll help you with your time. Maybe save some time, maybe make some time. I want you to test it for a month. And at the end of a month, you just give me whatever you think it's worth. So at the end of a month, Charles M. Schwab gets this guy and he said, there you go, here's a check. And he gave him a check for $100,000. So that's the equivalent of going up to Elon Musk, not that you'd want to, but going to Elon Musk, giving him an idea, and then him after a month giving you, I think it's equivalent of about $20 million. Wow. So the idea is very simple. It's to remove to-do lists, because to-do lists don't work, and instead replace them with must-do lists. And a must-do list, in my opinion, is at the end of each day, you write down the 5 most important things that you should do tomorrow, and you do them. That's the extra bit that I added. So the first bit was from the Charles M. Schwab bit. At the end of each day, write down the 5 most important things that you should do tomorrow, and then I added and do them. So why does this work? Well, most people write to-do lists at the start of a day. So you're already into your day, then you start and write a to-do list. You put 36 things on. You put a few things in there that you've already done. And then a few things that shouldn't really be there, but they look quite easy, so you'll put them on so you can feel good when you've done them. You do all that type of stuff. Of course we do. We all do that type of thing. But here's the key. Here's the real key with this is at the end of each day. So when you write your new one, so at the end of each day, not at the start of a day, so your brain works on it overnight. And you write down the 5 most important, just 5 and most important. So the theme for this Magic Monday is about priorities and about prioritization. So today on my list, I've got a really important thing that I must do, and I've already done 2 hours on it this morning. But I also want to exercise. And I knew if I didn't exercise this morning, I wouldn't get round to doing it later on. So I've done my exercise. So I'm 2 in now. 2 in. Makes you feel great, doesn't it? Is a Magic Monday on my top 5 must-dos? I'm afraid it's not. And the reason why is if I miss one, it's not as important as the other things that are on the list for today. So I don't know if you know, but people who are joining recently, I don't work in August. So I'm about to take August off. Now, what I thought I would do is I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and I'm going to work next Monday. And next Monday is going to be my last day before taking the rest of August off. Just the way it works out this time. So next Monday, I will have a Magic Monday. After that, I won't. This week and next week, I'll have a newsletter. And then after that, I won't. I'm going to take August off. I'm very good at taking August off. So it's the most important things. So at the end of each day, write down to the thing, write them down. 5 most important, not most urgent, most important things, and then do them. So what if you only get 3 out of the 5 done? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is great news if you only get 3 out of the 5 done, because you've got items 1 and 2 are ready for the next day. So prioritizing, I think, needs to happen before you need to prioritize, because usually what we're doing is we're prioritizing on the fly. Stuff comes along and suddenly you make a decision about, oh, I need to prioritize this. No, prioritize the night before. You wake up the next morning, it feels great. You know what you're doing. You know what you're up to. A brilliant feeling. So this afternoon I've got an important meeting which I'm going to go to. I'm going to get the train to it rather than driving, which I'm looking forward to. And then I've got another couple of little bits of, well, not little bits, major bits of admin stuff that I need to get sorted out. And they're going to be done today. So I know by 6 o'clock tonight, my 5 most important things will be done. And I will feel great because of it. Prioritize. That's the trick. Your priorities. So what are they? What are your priorities? I often throw these things out and I'll say to people, come on, what are you prioritizing at the moment? And obviously there's lots of people watching, there's lots of people watch on replay, which is really brilliant. But I think if you were to just write something in the comments about what are you prioritizing right now, what are your priorities, you are much more likely to do it. So come on, share one priority that you have for today. I'm asking you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to see who is here. So we've got Matthew Bird, who is tuning in from the land of smiles. Yay to not to-do lists. I know, not to-do lists. They're great, aren't they? Patrick Rooney's here from Brightlingsea, which always sounds like such a lovely place, doesn't it? Brightlingsea. It's bright, it's next to the sea, and it's lingy. Actually, I made an assumption there. Is Brightlingsea next to the sea? It must be. Absolutely. I've got Mike Fatchety, Henry Santa, storyteller, author, is taking August off on your most important list. It will be after next Monday, Mike. Definitely. Also, another comment from Mike Bird says, priority number 1, write my book. Yeah, I'm wearing my Write That Book t-shirt. I don't know if you can see that. So it's the wrong way around on Instagram, but everywhere else it should be okay. It's not the book you write that will... Sorry, I'll start that again. It's not the book you read that will change your life. It's the book you write. Write that book. I was talking to some people last week about writing books. And it was very interesting because the number of people who still want to write their book is incredible. I'm half tempted this autumn to do a one-off Write That Book course, because there's still loads of people who want to do that. So who else have we got? We've got Matthew Bird, priority number 2. If words from my book don't flow, get into a pirate groove. Haha. We got Scott here. Saw you in Dallas last week. Great start to the week. Well, good to see you, Scott. I loved being in Dallas with you last week. As I say, more about that next week. We've got Karen Nerney here from Birmingham to make a start on my story for a challenge. Oh, to make a start on my story for a challenge. Interesting. Okay. Dawn Booth's here on the Instagram saying prioritizing promotion planning, which starts at the end of August. You got to prioritize it. Absolutely. And Dawn saying good afternoon too. Elizabeth Gibson is tuning in from Barbados. Ah, hello Elizabeth. How lovely to see you. Absolute one of my going back to Write That Book. Elizabeth was one of the very first people on the very first Write That Book, and one of the first people to publish her book, and it was one of the most moving things I've ever read. It was absolutely brilliant. Yes. Patrick's back. Hi Michael. I've got one priority today as you're what? I've got one priority today as what? And then Elizabeth's back on saying Write That Book was amazing. Elizabeth, it was. Should I do another one in the autumn? What am I thinking about? Why am I even putting it out there? Why am I even putting it out there? Right, okay, I could do that. Okay, lovely people. So next week is my last live before I take August off. And then I will see you again in September. A couple other people here. Mike saying, Dallas, I still miss JR. Mike, can I tell you, I saw one of the best ever presentations by a marketing director while I was in Dallas, and she talked about Dallas the show and about who shot JR, and she linked it all with marketing today. It was absolutely brilliant. Not just good, but brilliant. It was so clever how she did everything. One of the best open and closed loops I've ever seen in a presentation. Oh, yes. Oh, wait a minute. Jan Murphy's here. Yes, please do another Write That Book course. Learned so much from the last ones. Go on, Michael. You know you want to. Jan, I don't know what I'm thinking about. I don't know why I even said that out loud. That should have been a short story. Okay, right. So Karen is going to write a short story. Oh, class. Karen, that's brilliant. All right, lovely people. Thanks so much. Let's play some music, and I will see you next week for more Magic Monday Live.